The introduction of digital Dharma, How AI Can Elevate Spiritual Intelligence and Personal Well-Being by Deepak Chopra explores the transformative potential of artificial intelligence, AI, in personal and spiritual growth. The chapter, titled The Miracle in the Machine, presents AI not just as a tool for technological advancement, but as a medium to expand consciousness and enhance well-being. Chopra describes AI's unprecedented capability to provide access to spiritual wisdom at our fingertips. Despite not being conscious or truly intelligent, AI can serve as a catalyst to make human thinking more conscious and intelligent. This connection comes at a crucial time, especially when modern challenges, such as those brought by the COVID-19 pandemic, have heightened people's sense of frustration and anxiety. Amidst the rising pursuit of self-improvement, AI emerges as an unexpected ally for personal development. The author recounts a personal miracle involving AI. The translation of his English YouTube videos into Hindi, not just through simple subtitles, but with AI-generated videos where Chopra's lips sync perfectly to the translated content. This anecdote symbolizes the potential of AI to bridge communication barriers and increase spiritual outreach. The author emphasizes that while AI can answer everyday questions or provide happiness tips, its true potential lies in addressing deeper inquiries about life, relationships, and spiritual growth. Yet, Chopra warns that AI is only as good as the intentions of its users. He dispels common fears about AI turning rogue, comparing it to a knife, useful in skilled hands but potentially harmful in others. He highlights that AI is, ultimately, a mirror of the user's consciousness. The author concludes by positioning AI as a guide that can help users find their personal dharma, the path of living an ideal life. He argues that AI can assist in self-discovery, offering insights that previously required a spiritual guru. However, the journey of self-awareness and inner growth remains personal, and AI is merely a facilitator, not a replacement for human consciousness. The introduction sets the tone for the book, suggesting that the miracle of AI is not in its mechanics, but in its potential to awaken human potential in new, expansive ways. In Chapter 1 of Digital Dharma, How AI Can Elevate Spiritual Intelligence and Personal Well-Being, titled Dharma and Your Ideal Life, Deepak Chopra delves into the concept of Dharma, a central theme in Vedic philosophy, to explore how individuals can align their lives with their personal calling. Dharma is depicted as the path that leads to the most authentic and fulfilling life, defined by one's inner purpose. Chopra explains that this pursuit of an ideal life involves a shift from chasing fleeting happiness to finding deeper contentment through spiritual growth. The chapter begins with a vivid comparison to Aladdin's tale, where the genie symbolizes wish fulfillment. Yet, unlike the simplistic granting of wishes, achieving true happiness is complex. The pursuit of desires, like wealth, power, or fame, often results in disillusionment. Chopra emphasizes that happiness is not a fixed destination but a dynamic journey, requiring us to continuously realign our actions and beliefs. The essence of Dharma is explored through its multifaceted meaning. Drawing on Buddhist interpretations, Chopra describes it as a map guiding individuals away from suffering toward happiness. Dharma encompasses the teachings of the Buddha, universal truths, and the very fabric of reality, an interconnected web of cause and effect, where everything is interlinked. At its core, Dharma not only upholds cosmic order but also guides each person toward a life of personal significance. Chopra introduces AI as a powerful tool for uncovering one's Dharma. He describes AI's potential to serve as a virtual guru, providing insights, encouragement, and guidance through deep learning algorithms that draw from centuries of spiritual teachings. While AI lacks true consciousness, it can offer valuable, tailored advice to help individuals navigate their spiritual paths. For example, AI can facilitate daily affirmations, specific meditations, visualizations of personal goals, and advice on overcoming obstacles. AI's vast knowledge base enables users to tap into spiritual traditions, ancient wisdom, and even practical advice on everyday issues like anxiety or relationship challenges. To align with personal Dharma, Chopra suggests 7 practical ways: self-discovery, aligning actions with values, expressing unique gifts, cultivating inner peace, serving the community, embracing continuous growth, and trusting one's intuition. Each step involves active engagement and introspection. Chopra emphasizes that AI can enhance these practices, but the journey remains deeply personal, requiring one to explore and trust their inner guidance. In discussing personal transformation, Chopra contrasts the concepts of I and it, derived from the ancient Vedic tradition. The I represents the ego-driven self, seeking fulfillment through external desires and avoiding pain. In contrast, it symbolizes pure awareness, existing in a state of bliss regardless of circumstances. The path to Dharma involves shifting from the limited perspective of I to the expansive consciousness of it, thereby transcending fear and achieving a more harmonious life. Ultimately, the author argues that living in one's Dharma means moving beyond the limitations of personal stories shaped by past experiences, social pressures, and unfulfilled desires. It requires embracing change, breaking free from ego-driven narratives, and cultivating spiritual intelligence. By blending AI with traditional spiritual principles, Chopra envisions a new era of personal growth, where individuals can use digital tools to better understand and fulfill their life's purpose. In Chapter 2 of Digital Dharma, How AI Can Elevate Spiritual Intelligence and Personal Well-Being, titled How to Create Your Own Path, the focus shifts to the practical aspects of finding and following one's Dharma. The concept of creating one's path is not merely about making choices or setting goals, but aligning with a deeper sense of purpose that integrates spiritual awareness with everyday actions. The chapter begins by reflecting on the rapid rise of AI tools like ChatGPT, which emerged in late 2022 and quickly garnered millions of users. The core argument is that AI can play a significant role in helping individuals discover their personal paths. Beyond simply answering questions, AI enables meaningful dialogue that can illuminate spiritual truths. By using the right prompts, users can steer AI toward guidance that is both practical and spiritually relevant, helping individuals shape their unique journeys. A major theme in this chapter is the distinction between the ego-driven I and the deeper consciousness referred to as it. In Vedic tradition, I represents the self-centered, often defensive aspect of the mind that seeks pleasure and avoids pain. It is the ego that tries to make life predictable and safe. In contrast, it is the blissful, pure awareness that exists beyond fear and external circumstances. This deeper consciousness is inherently aligned with the flow of life, encouraging openness and spontaneity. By cultivating a relationship with both I and it, individuals can better navigate the complexities of life and align with their true Dharma. The chapter provides a step-by-step guide to creating a personal path. It emphasizes the importance of self-reflection, setting clear goals, and continuously learning. AI tools, when used thoughtfully, can assist in this process by offering structured advice, daily affirmations, and personalized meditations. For example, users can ask AI for guidance on specific aspects of personal development, such as aligning desires with higher values, practicing mindfulness, or fostering self-discipline. This ongoing interaction can help individuals remain focused and motivated on their paths. One practical suggestion involves using AI to establish daily routines that reinforce spiritual growth. For instance, AI can offer motivational affirmations, tailored meditations, and visualizations that correspond with personal goals. By integrating these practices into daily life, users can maintain a consistent connection to their deeper intentions, allowing their path to unfold naturally. However, the chapter warns against over-reliance on AI, reminding readers that true transformation comes from within. While AI can provide valuable insights and tools, the journey of self-awareness and spiritual growth is ultimately personal and requires individual effort and commitment. A central lesson in this chapter is the notion of transcending one's life story to embrace a higher purpose. According to the author, people often become trapped in the narratives they create about themselves, narratives shaped by past experiences, social conditioning, and unmet desires. These stories, while comforting at times, are limited by the ego's need for control. The path to Dharma involves breaking free from these constraints, shifting focus from external achievements to inner fulfillment. The chapter encourages readers to use AI as a mirror to reflect on their core beliefs, desires, and fears. and to gradually align their lives with their Dharma through self-awareness and conscious choices. In summary, Chapter 2 presents a compelling argument for the integration of AI in personal development. It outlines how digital tools can support individuals in identifying and pursuing their Dharma, offering both practical and spiritual guidance. However, the chapter also emphasizes the need for discernment, reminding readers that AI is not a substitute for personal growth, but a facilitator of deeper awareness and transformation. The ultimate goal is to create a life path that feels right at an intuitive level, aligned with one's highest values and purpose. Chapter 3 of Digital Dharma, titled Seeking the Highest Vision, delves into the concept of envisioning one's most elevated aspirations as a crucial step on the spiritual path. It emphasizes that while having high ideals is inspiring, the challenge lies in turning these ideals into tangible realities. The chapter explains that most people's daily routines are often governed by habits and societal norms, which maintain existing personal narratives rather than fostering spiritual evolution. The author introduces the idea that AI can act as a reminder of one's higher vision, akin to how wearable devices monitor physical health by alerting users to changes like increased heart rates. Similarly, AI can serve as a spiritual monitor, prompting users to engage in small, meaningful actions that align with their Dharma or spiritual path. For example, AI might suggest simple daily acts of kindness or moments of self-reflection that foster a sense of purpose and service to others. At the core of this vision is the concept that reality mirrors the inner self. Borrowing from Vedic philosophy, the chapter asserts that the world is as you are, meaning that individuals project their personal realities based on internal beliefs, emotions, and perceptions. This principle posits that people interpret the world uniquely, based on their current mental and emotional states. For instance, a sunset may evoke beauty in one person, indifference in another, and sadness in someone experiencing heartbreak. Thus, reality is shaped not by external circumstances, but by inner interpretations. This chapter also highlights the importance of self-awareness in achieving one's highest vision. It emphasizes that the journey toward a higher state of consciousness involves a gradual shift from the egocentric I to the more expansive I, representing a state of pure awareness and connection to the universe. This shift allows individuals to transcend their limited perspectives and tap into a more holistic understanding of existence. It reflects the Vedic concept of the Atman, or higher self, which is connected to the universal consciousness, or Brahman. Achieving this state is not seen as an isolated spiritual event, but as an ongoing process that evolves naturally over time. To make progress toward a higher vision, the chapter suggests integrating practices like meditation, mindful intention, and guided visualizations. These practices are tools for expanding awareness, helping individuals gradually align their thoughts, actions, and emotions with their highest ideals. AI can serve as a digital companion in this journey, offering personalized guidance tailored to individual goals. It might suggest meditations to enhance awareness or propose strategies for overcoming mental obstacles like self-doubt or negative beliefs. By using AI as an ally, individuals can deepen their connection with the self and achieve greater clarity of purpose. The author also discusses common obstacles to pursuing the highest vision, such as ingrained patterns of thought and behavior that limit growth. For instance, the ego often creates internal resistance through fear, self-criticism, and doubt. AI, when used thoughtfully, can help users identify and address these mental barriers by offering tailored prompts that encourage introspection and self-compassion. By consistently integrating these insights, individuals can slowly rewire their minds to prioritize their deepest values and aspirations over fleeting desires or societal expectations. In summary, the chapter emphasizes that achieving the highest vision is an evolving process rooted in expanding self-awareness and aligning with a higher state of consciousness. AI is presented as a practical tool to support this spiritual endeavor, offering insights, reminders, and guidance that help individuals stay true to their highest path. The ultimate goal is to live not just by default, guided by past conditioning, but by design, guided by conscious choice and spiritual clarity. Chapter 4 of Digital Dharma, titled The Art of the Prompt, emphasizes the critical role of effectively interacting with AI through well-crafted prompts. It suggests that successful communication with AI requires both strategy and clarity, highlighting how proper prompts can transform the AI from a basic information tool into a personal growth ally. This chapter builds on the concept that AI can support personal evolution when approached with the right questions and mindset. The chapter begins by framing AI as a powerful digital companion, capable of offering advice and motivation at any time. However, the effectiveness of AI depends largely on how users engage with it. Simply asking vague questions can limit the depth and usefulness of AI responses. Therefore, the chapter stresses that crafting the right prompts is a skill that can be learned and refined. It provides basic guidelines to enhance communication with AI. Keep wording simple and direct, add specific details to narrow the scope, maintain a conversational tone, and redirect the chatbot if the responses are unsatisfactory. For illustration, the author uses anxiety as an example of a real-life challenge where AI can be helpful. By following the guidelines, users can generate prompts that lead to more relevant and useful responses, such as advice on coping mechanisms, daily affirmations, and practical steps toward emotional balance. This example shows that asking AI about anxiety requires a series of well-phrased prompts rather than a one-off question. For instance, questions should evolve from "What is anxiety?" to "What techniques can help me manage social anxiety?" to improve the interaction's effectiveness. The chapter also explores the balance between AI's strengths and its limitations. While AI can quickly provide general information, it is less effective at capturing the nuances of human emotions or offering personalized empathy. However, it excels in providing structured, practical advice, which can help users take actionable steps toward their goals. For instance, prompts like "Suggest 3 daily habits for better mindfulness" or "Offer tips to improve my focus at work" are more likely to yield productive responses. A significant takeaway from this chapter is that AI interactions are dynamic and should be treated as such. As conversations progress, users should not hesitate to refine their prompts based on the responses received. For example, if the initial guidance from AI is too broad, users can request more specific advice by asking, "Can you provide examples related to my work environment?" This iterative approach allows for deeper engagement and a more personalized AI experience. The chapter concludes by encouraging readers to see AI as more than just a problem-solving tool. By integrating AI into daily routines for tasks like meditation guidance, setting personal goals, or even engaging in philosophical discussions, individuals can harness AI as a catalyst for spiritual growth. The effectiveness of this integration, however, hinges on mastering the art of the prompt, a blend of clarity, intention, and openness to iterative learning. The chapter titled Embrace Change from Digital Dharma presents the concept that embracing change is a fundamental step toward living in alignment with one's Dharma. It emphasizes that change is inevitable and resisting it only creates tension, fear, and stagnation. The author explores both the psychological and spiritual dimensions of change, urging readers to adopt an open and adaptive mindset to facilitate personal growth and transformation. The chapter begins by defining the two primary responses to change, embracing or resisting it. When people embrace change, they experience a sense of liberation and growth. It allows them to explore new possibilities, adapt to unexpected events, and maintain a sense of curiosity about life's evolving nature. In contrast, resisting change is often driven by fear and manifests as a desire to maintain the status quo. This resistance can lead to feelings of apprehension, discomfort, and a persistent sense of dissatisfaction. The text highlights that resisting change can become a habitual emotional state, often originating from past negative experiences or societal conditioning. These experiences contribute to a general sense of unease, causing individuals to associate change with potential threats rather than opportunities. The author illustrates this concept through various real-life scenarios, such as facing major life transitions like becoming a parent, dealing with divorce, or retiring. In these cases, resistance to change can often feel like clinging to familiarity amid a storm of uncertainty. On the other hand, embracing change brings emotional benefits. People who approach change positively often feel more empowered, adaptable, and optimistic. This willingness to explore new paths creates a sense of opportunity, as individuals perceive change as a natural part of growth rather than something to fear. The author explains that achieving this mindset requires self-awareness and a clear understanding of what change means on a personal level. Only by acknowledging these aspects can individuals begin to shift their responses from fear to openness. The chapter also delves into the role of uncertainty, a natural byproduct of change, and suggests that uncertainty itself can be a catalyst for creativity. Instead of viewing it as a source of discomfort, the author encourages readers to see uncertainty as an essential component of the creative process, pushing individuals out of their comfort zones to explore innovative solutions. This perspective aligns with the wisdom of the Persian poet Rumi, who believed that surrendering to uncertainty is a pathway to higher consciousness. By embracing the unknown, individuals can tap into a wellspring of creative energy that fosters personal and spiritual evolution. Society's influence on attitudes toward change is also examined. While societal messages often promote the allure of new and improved products, they simultaneously create anxiety about potential risks and failures. This dichotomy can leave individuals feeling torn between the desire for change and the fear of its consequences. To overcome these conflicting messages, the author proposes a shift in mindset. Individuals must learn to separate societal pressures from personal aspirations and recognize that the path of least resistance is not always the most fulfilling. The text presents 7 guiding principles for embracing change effectively. 1. Change feels good when aligned with fulfillment. When change is associated with positive emotions and outcomes, it becomes easier to accept. 2. Pain is a poor motivator. While pain can drive short-term change, it rarely leads to lasting transformation. The author notes that humans often endure pain rather than change in response to it. 3. Conformity hinders creativity. Adapting to social norms can suppress individual growth, as people conform to second-hand values rather than exploring their unique paths. 4. People naturally gravitate toward the path of least resistance. While this can be a survival mechanism, it often prevents personal evolution. 5. Denial and resistance are common reactions to challenges. To embrace change, individuals must learn new responses to difficult situations. 6. Behavior is largely learned. Most behaviors that resist change are not inherent but acquired through upbringing and experiences. Recognizing this allows individuals to reconnect with their true nature, which is adaptable and creative. 7. True nature is found in the present. Living in the moment allows individuals to experience their authentic selves, free from past influences. The chapter concludes by suggesting a practical approach to embracing change. Start with inspiration, affirm positive beliefs, engage in self-reflection, and take actionable steps toward transformation. Using AI tools, individuals can receive personalized guidance, daily affirmations, and self-reflection prompts that support this process. AI can provide a framework for exploring deeper aspects of personal growth, acting as a virtual coach that helps individuals align with their evolving Dharma. In essence, Embrace Change presents change not as an obstacle but as a vital component of personal and spiritual evolution. By adopting a flexible mindset, individuals can navigate life's uncertainties with grace, making each step on the path an opportunity for growth. In the chapter titled Put Your Ego on Notice, the focus is on recognizing and managing the ego as a critical step in spiritual and personal growth. The ego is portrayed as a significant barrier to evolving consciousness, keeping individuals locked in cycles of desire, defensiveness, and self-centeredness. Rather than merely trying to suppress or eliminate the ego, the chapter emphasizes the importance of observing and understanding its influence. The ego, as defined in this chapter, is the voice of the I, me, and mine, constantly seeking self-affirmation and gratification. It's a deeply embedded part of the human psyche that manifests as the need for control, recognition, and validation. The ego is not inherently bad, but its unchecked dominance can limit personal growth and spiritual evolution. It tends to create a narrow focus on personal desires, often at the expense of deeper, more meaningful experiences. A distinction is made between ego and egotism. While egotism is outward and often obvious, manifesting as vanity or arrogance, the ego operates more subtly. It underlies many aspects of daily life, shaping thoughts, decisions, and behaviors in ways that can be difficult to detect. The chapter emphasizes that becoming aware of the ego's presence is the first step toward transforming it. This awareness allows individuals to respond more consciously, rather than reacting automatically to ego-driven impulses. The text introduces two forces that influence behavior: the I, the ego, and the it, pure awareness. The I is defensive, always seeking satisfaction and avoiding pain, while the represents a state of consciousness that transcends self-centered motives. The challenge is to shift focus from the ego's demands to the deeper wisdom of the it, which aligns with one's true purpose or Dharma. This shift doesn't mean eradicating the ego, but rather learning to recognize when it is in control and choosing to act from a place of higher awareness. Practical exercises are suggested to help individuals identify and manage the ego. One such exercise is to spend an entire day without using the word I, a challenge that underscores how deeply ingrained the ego is in everyday communication. A simpler version involves noticing how often phrases like I want or I don't want arise in conversations and thoughts, as these phrases are direct expressions of egoic desire. By cultivating this awareness, individuals can begin to disrupt the automatic dominance of the ego and make more intentional choices. Artificial intelligence is presented as a useful tool for confronting the ego. AI can act as a mirror, reflecting habitual patterns of thought and behavior. It can provide insights without judgment, helping users to see their desires and motivations more clearly. However, there's a cautionary note. AI can also amplify ego-driven tendencies if not used wisely. It is essential to approach AI with the intention of fostering self-awareness rather than merely satisfying immediate desires. The chapter concludes with the idea that managing the ego is not about eradicating it but about creating space for a deeper, more authentic part of the self to emerge. The it, or pure awareness, represents a state of being that is less reactive and more aligned with higher spiritual principles. By learning to observe the ego without being controlled by it, individuals can experience greater clarity, compassion, and alignment with their true purpose. Ultimately, putting the ego on notice is a crucial step in the journey towards spiritual liberation and a more fulfilling life. In the chapter titled Bend and Bounce Back, the concept of resilience takes center stage as a vital component of personal and spiritual growth. The text argues that life is full of unpredictable challenges, and true spiritual evolution requires not just enduring these difficulties but learning how to adapt and recover from them. Resilience, described as the ability to bend and bounce back, is presented as more than just coping. It is about thriving amidst adversity by maintaining an open and flexible mindset. The chapter begins by addressing a common reality. Most people accept stress as a natural part of life. However, this passive acceptance often comes with significant costs, including compromised health, strained relationships, and diminished well-being. The author suggests that resilience should be cultivated actively rather than assumed as a given. It is depicted as a skill that involves a conscious shift from a reactive to a proactive approach toward challenges. The core metaphor of the chapter compares two types of trees facing a storm: a rigid oak and a flexible reed. While the oak, despite its strength, may break under strong winds, the reed bends and survives. This imagery emphasizes the importance of adaptability in difficult times. Rigidity, as described, is a defense mechanism learned over time, while resilience is seen as an inherent quality that can be rediscovered and strengthened. The focus is on learning to bend when faced with pressure, allowing individuals to bounce back more effectively once the storm has passed. The text also explores the role of fear in reducing resilience. When fear takes over, it tends to shrink awareness, making people feel trapped and defensive, much like a turtle retreating into its shell. This constricted state of consciousness not only limits problem-solving abilities, but also inhibits personal growth. To enhance resilience, it is crucial to expand awareness, moving beyond the immediate reaction of fear and embracing a broader perspective that allows for creative solutions and spiritual growth. Artificial intelligence, AI, is suggested as a potential tool for fostering resilience. By using AI to identify rigid thinking patterns and suggest ways to broaden awareness, individuals can cultivate a more adaptable mindset. For example, AI-guided meditations or prompts for self-reflection can encourage users to adopt a more flexible approach to challenges. The chapter stresses that AI should be used thoughtfully, serving as a guide to deeper self-awareness rather than a mere problem-solving tool. To apply resilience practically, the chapter offers several steps. 1. Recognize rigidity. The first step is becoming aware of one's own rigid patterns. This involves pausing and reassessing habitual reactions whenever tension or resistance is felt. By observing these responses without judgment, individuals can start to release self-imposed limitations. 2. Cultivate emotional clarity. Resilience involves more than just enduring stress. It requires managing emotions with greater awareness. The text emphasizes the importance of responding from a higher impulse, such as compassion or empathy, even when immediate reactions are driven by negativity or confusion. This creates a positive feedback loop that reinforces resilience over time. 3. Embrace continuous learning. Resilience is closely linked to a mindset of ongoing growth. Every setback or challenge can be seen as an opportunity to learn something new, either about oneself or the situation. By reframing failures as lessons, individuals can improve their responses to future difficulties and maintain momentum on their spiritual path. The chapter closes by reinforcing that resilience is not a static goal but a dynamic process that evolves alongside deeper self-awareness. Adopting the principle of bend and bounce back becomes essential for maintaining alignment with one's Dharma, or true purpose, regardless of life's challenges. In the chapter titled Trust the Process from Digital Dharma, the focus is on the vital concept of trusting the natural unfolding of life's journey. The essence of this strategy is about embracing the uncertainty and unpredictability of the path, which is inherent to personal and spiritual growth. It emphasizes that the process of spiritual evolution is not something one can fully control or predict. Rather, it is an organic unfolding that requires a profound level of trust in oneself and in the deeper, often mysterious, aspects of consciousness. The chapter begins by contrasting the traditional approach to dealing with challenges in Western culture, often characterized by a determined, head-on approach, with the modern, more fluid idea of processing one's feelings and experiences. While the term processing has gained popularity as a softer, more neutral way to describe dealing with emotions, it goes beyond being just a convenient term. It becomes a spiritual practice that involves bringing light to hidden areas within oneself, clarifying internal conflicts, and transforming confusion into understanding. The text emphasizes that the ability to process experiences as they occur is a uniquely human gift. Unlike other creatures that operate mainly on instinct, humans have the freedom to reflect, learn, and evolve through self-awareness. However, this freedom does not come with a set of instructions. People often equate their personal process with the ego's familiar patterns, mistaking it for true growth. The ego tends to hijack the process, using it to reinforce habitual ways of being rather than facilitating genuine transformation. The challenge, therefore, is to differentiate between the ego's version of processing and a more evolved, deeper form of processing. Trust emerges as a crucial element in the spiritual journey. While people often trust their own familiar ways of handling things, sometimes rigidly, spiritual growth calls for trusting the unpredictable and fluid nature of the path itself. This involves letting go of the ego's desire for control and certainty, which can be uncomfortable for many. The text illustrates this discomfort with the modern erosion of trust in various aspects of society, such as politics, media, corporations, and even personal relationships. This widespread mistrust extends inward, affecting how people trust themselves and their inner processes. The chapter also explores how trusting the process is closely related to self-awareness. As individuals learn to navigate their inner worlds with more openness and less fear, they can soften old emotional impressions, such as trauma or negative memories, which often shape their present experiences. The metaphor of sunlight melting snow and ice is used to describe how self-awareness can gradually dissolve these frozen impressions, making way for inner freedom and healing. The emphasis is on allowing consciousness to naturally return to a state of well-being, rather than forcing change or clinging to past experiences. Several practical tools are offered to help individuals cultivate trust in the process. 1. Adopting an attitude of acceptance. This involves being open to whatever arises in the present moment without trying to change it immediately. By accepting experiences as they are, individuals can engage more deeply with the process of transformation. 2. Using affirmations. Repeating affirmations like "I am open to what happens in the present" or "I connect with my deeper consciousness" can help reinforce trust in the unfolding of life's journey. 3. Practicing guided meditations. The chapter suggests guided meditations, created with the help of AI or traditional spiritual teachings, to encourage inner peace and connection with deeper awareness. For instance, visualizations like a serene lake or warm light can help calm the mind and foster trust in the process of personal evolution. Ultimately, the chapter asserts that trusting the process leads back to a fundamental trust in oneself. This trust is not about controlling outcomes or having all the answers, but about surrendering to a deeper intelligence that is constantly guiding personal growth. By doing so, individuals can navigate the inherent unpredictability of life with greater grace, allowing the natural unfolding of their Dharma. The process is not a straight line but a dynamic, ever-evolving journey that requires both patience and faith in the unseen forces at play within consciousness. In the chapter titled "Be Inward Bound," the focus is on the importance of cultivating self-awareness as a key step in spiritual growth. The chapter emphasizes that self-awareness is not merely about observing thoughts and emotions. It's about connecting with the true self that exists beyond the surface mind. This journey inward is essential for aligning with one's Dharma and experiencing deeper states of consciousness. The text begins by acknowledging a common hesitation people feel when encouraged to become more self-aware. It notes that many fear becoming overly self-conscious, leading to anxiety about their behavior. However, the chapter clarifies that the goal is not to create self-doubt but to deepen awareness, moving beyond superficial reactions to life. Self-awareness, as described here, is a natural state of the human mind and is foundational to personal evolution. The chapter introduces two key internal skills for developing self-awareness: attention and intention. Attention refers to what one notices, while intention refers to the conscious choices made in response to what is noticed. For instance, noticing a need or desire, attention, allows for a conscious decision, intention, about how to respond. This process forms the basis of conscious living, where each decision aligns more closely with one's true nature rather than being driven by automatic habits or impulses. An essential metaphor presented in this chapter is that of the mind as a mirror. Just as a mirror reflects an image clearly when polished, the mind becomes clearer and more aligned with the deeper self through consistent self-awareness. The deeper self, referred to here as it, represents a state of pure awareness that exists beyond the ego, or the I, while the I seeks to protect, satisfy, and secure itself. That it embodies a state of completeness, requiring no defense or external fulfillment. The challenge for most people is that they are accustomed to interacting with the world from the perspective of the I, which is often driven by fear and desire. In contrast, connecting with it involves moving beyond these limitations and embracing a state of peace and fulfillment that exists independently of external circumstances. The chapter also explores how self-awareness affects relationships. It suggests that deeper self-awareness allows for more genuine interactions, as individuals become less reactive and more empathetic. By understanding one's own internal landscape, it becomes easier to understand and relate to others. This process helps in resolving conflicts, as it encourages a more compassionate and less defensive response. The idea is that as one becomes more self-aware, it's possible to break cycles of miscommunication and misunderstanding that often arise from ego-driven interactions. To support the inward journey, the chapter offers practical strategies. 1. Meditation and mindfulness. Regular meditation is encouraged as a way to quiet the mind and create space for deeper awareness to emerge. Mindfulness, or the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment, is also suggested as a daily habit that can gradually increase self-awareness. 2. Journaling. Writing down thoughts, emotions, and reflections can serve as a mirror, helping individuals identify recurring patterns of thought and behavior. The chapter advises using journaling as a tool for tracking progress and recognizing both positive shifts and areas that need more attention. 3. Guided meditations with AI. The text presents AI as a potential guide in this inward journey, offering personalized meditations or prompts that encourage self-reflection. By using AI thoughtfully, individuals can enhance their awareness and maintain consistency in their practice. AI can suggest exercises to focus the mind, manage distractions, and support the transition from ego-based thinking to deeper self-awareness. The ultimate goal of being inward-bound is to transcend the habitual focus on the I and align more fully with the id. This alignment leads to a more fulfilling life, as actions are driven by a deeper sense of purpose rather than by surface-level desires or fears. By consistently returning inward, individuals can tap into an ongoing process of transformation that is both personal and universal. The chapter concludes by encouraging readers to embrace this journey with patience and trust, knowing that each step inward brings them closer to their true self and their Dharma. In the chapter titled Project the Truth from Digital Dharma, the focus is on overcoming illusions and projections that cloud reality. It presents the idea that most people unknowingly project their inner assumptions and beliefs onto the external world, creating a distorted reality. The chapter suggests that spiritual growth requires learning to see through these illusions and instead project the truth, which involves aligning one's awareness with a deeper, more authentic reality. The text begins by explaining the concept of projection, a psychological defense mechanism that often distorts perception. Projection involves unconsciously transferring personal emotions, beliefs, or insecurities onto others, rather than confronting them internally. For instance, someone might accuse others of selfishness when, in fact, they harbor selfish tendencies themselves. This dynamic can prevent individuals from seeing the world as it truly is, keeping them stuck in cycles of misunderstanding and self-deception. The chapter makes an important distinction between projecting illusions and projecting truth. While projection typically involves false assumptions, projecting truth means radiating higher values like love, empathy, compassion, and creativity. This shift requires a deeper engagement with consciousness, moving beyond the ego's desires and defenses. It involves cultivating self-awareness to recognize personal biases and illusions, and then consciously choosing to project more positive and authentic qualities into interactions and situations. An interesting metaphor used in this chapter is that of a 3D movie. The text suggests that reality, as perceived by the senses, is akin to watching a three-dimensional film. While the images appear solid and real, they are actually projections on a screen. Similarly, the physical world is described as a projection created by consciousness. This metaphor aligns with ancient spiritual teachings, which often depict the physical world as an illusion, Maya, and emphasize the importance of seeing beyond appearances to understand the true nature of reality. To help readers understand their own tendencies toward projection, the chapter includes a self-assessment quiz. This quiz encourages readers to identify patterns of projection in their daily lives, such as blaming others, feeling overly defensive, or assuming negative intentions without evidence. The exercise aims to increase self-awareness and prompt individuals to reflect on how their internal states influence their perceptions of the external world. The chapter also explores the spiritual implications of projection. It argues that many of the world's conflicts and misunderstandings arise from collective projections. For example, nations often project their own insecurities onto other countries, labeling them as threats. Similarly, religious or ideological groups may project their own fears and biases onto opposing groups, perpetuating division and conflict. The text suggests that breaking this cycle requires a collective effort to project more truthful and compassionate values, both individually and societally. The chapter concludes with a series of practical steps for projecting the truth. 1. Increase self-awareness. Start by observing personal patterns of projection. Reflect on situations where blame, defensiveness, or unfounded assumptions arise. and ask whether these reactions might be projections of personal insecurities or biases. 2. Practice compassion. Actively cultivate compassion, both for oneself and others. Recognize that everyone is dealing with their own projections and illusions, and respond with empathy rather than judgment. 3. Align intentions with higher values. Set daily intentions to project higher values, such as love, empathy, and creativity, into all interactions. This involves consciously choosing to act from a place of authenticity and integrity. 4. Use meditation and reflection. Regular meditation can help clear mental projections by fostering a state of calm and centeredness. Reflection exercises, like journaling or guided visualization, can also support the process of recognizing and releasing illusions. 5. Apply AI tools. The chapter mentions the use of AI as a potential aid in recognizing patterns of projection. AI tools can help users identify unconscious biases or habitual thought patterns, providing insights that facilitate greater self-awareness and truth projection. Ultimately, the text emphasizes that projecting the truth is about living in alignment with a higher state of consciousness. It's about allowing the true self, rather than the ego, to shape perceptions and interactions. By projecting more love, compassion, and understanding into the world, individuals can contribute to a more harmonious and truthful reality, both for themselves and others. The path to spiritual growth, as described in this chapter, involves a continuous effort to dismantle illusions and radiate the deeper truths of consciousness. In the chapter titled Defuse Your Negative Beliefs, the focus is on identifying and dismantling the negative beliefs that block personal evolution and spiritual growth. The chapter explains that these beliefs often operate silently within one's psyche, similar to software programs, and they can deeply shape one's perception and actions. The essence of this strategy is that beliefs, especially core ones, function like filters that color reality. While temporary beliefs can fade with time, core beliefs can persistently distort self-perception and interactions with the world. These core beliefs often arise from early experiences and can significantly limit a person's potential by acting as self-fulfilling prophecies. Identifying core negative beliefs. The chapter suggests that core beliefs are particularly potent because they are often taken as unquestionable truths. These beliefs are not always articulated in words. Instead, they manifest as gut feelings or internal narratives that influence behavior. For example, someone facing a challenge might instinctively feel doomed to fail, driven by a core belief of inadequacy. The chapter emphasizes that gut feelings are not always reliable, as they pass through the filter of these core beliefs, creating a distorted perception of reality. Negative core beliefs can take many forms, such as self-doubt. Beliefs like, I'm not good enough or I'm not smart enough. Victim mentality. Thinking, I always get treated unfairly or things never go my way. Blame shifting. Beliefs such as it's always someone else's fault or my boss holds me back. These beliefs can have long-lasting consequences if they become ingrained, often affecting life choices and interactions for years or even a lifetime. Steps to defuse negative beliefs. The chapter outlines practical steps to defuse these negative beliefs. 1. Recognize how you feel. Start by noticing feelings rather than trying to immediately analyze thoughts. Feelings are often more revealing of core beliefs, as they offer direct insight into internal states that may have gone unacknowledged. For example, if someone feels unworthy of success, this feeling often stems from a deeply held belief rather than a rational assessment of their capabilities. 2. Question negative thoughts. Instead of accepting negative thoughts as truth, examine them critically. The chapter advises not to believe the worst thoughts at face value, as they often reinforce negative beliefs. By detaching from these thoughts and viewing them as products of past conditioning, individuals can weaken the grip of negative beliefs. 3. Pause before reacting. Core beliefs often trigger automatic reactions, like anger or self-blame. The chapter suggests creating a mental pause before acting on strong impulses, which allows for more thoughtful and constructive responses. This pause helps break habitual patterns and opens space for a more conscious choice. 4. Find a supportive confidant. Sharing feelings with a trusted confidant can reduce the intensity of negative beliefs. The act of expressing vulnerability in a safe environment can help dissolve the shame or fear that often accompanies these beliefs. The chapter also emphasizes the importance of avoiding repression, as unacknowledged feelings can fester and exacerbate negative beliefs. 5. Exchange reactions for responses. Reactions are often immediate and habitual, while responses involve a considered approach. The chapter encourages replacing habitual reactions with thoughtful responses that reflect one's evolving awareness. This shift requires self-awareness and a commitment to personal growth. Reframing negative beliefs. Reframing involves changing the internal dialogue surrounding a negative belief. For example, after losing one's temper and feeling guilty, reframing could involve shifting the perspective to self-compassion. I am human and make mistakes. This reframe not only reduces the emotional charge of the situation, but also aligns with the natural rise and fall of emotions, facilitating a return to a balanced state. The role of AI in defusing beliefs. The chapter also explores the potential of AI as a tool for identifying and defusing negative beliefs. AI can assist by providing quizzes and prompts that help users identify core beliefs and challenge them effectively. For instance, AI can suggest exercises for replacing negative beliefs with more empowering alternatives, offering real-time feedback that enhances self-awareness. The ultimate goal is to cultivate self-awareness that allows individuals to recognize and transcend limiting beliefs, thereby opening the way for personal evolution. By adopting an approach rooted in present-moment awareness, individuals can gradually shift from a reactive mindset dominated by past conditioning to a more liberated state of being, aligned with their true self. The chapter Wholeness is the Ultimate Healer presents the concept of wholeness as an intrinsic force that governs the healing process at all levels: physical, mental, and spiritual. The text begins by emphasizing that the body already understands wholeness more deeply than the conscious mind. The various systems within the body, such as the immune, nervous, and lymphatic systems, operate in harmony to address injuries or diseases, regardless of their complexity. This sophisticated healing response demonstrates the inherent intelligence of the body, which is organized holistically and operates beyond the limitations of fragmented understanding. The chapter then transitions to a broader spiritual context, suggesting that true healing cannot be separated from a sense of wholeness. Throughout history, the concept of wholeness has appeared under different names across cultures and spiritual traditions, be it Dharma, Ananda, Yoga, Grace, or Providence. Each tradition reflects the idea that a higher intelligence supports human evolution and well-being, a perspective often missing in modern life, which tends to be divided into specialized domains like medicine, psychology, and spirituality. The core argument is that the fragmented approach of modern disciplines is inadequate for achieving true well-being, which requires a holistic perspective. The text explores the evolutionary role of wholeness, suggesting that all forms of healing ultimately depend on the alignment of the individual with a higher state of consciousness. This alignment is not merely theoretical, but can be practically achieved through self-awareness. By expanding self-awareness, individuals can tap into an innate sense of wholeness that guides healing. This process is likened to allowing the body's natural intelligence to take over, leading to a more integrated state of being. This integration extends beyond physical health, encompassing mental clarity, emotional balance, and spiritual peace. A key part of this chapter involves addressing past trauma and emotional wounds, which often act as barriers to wholeness. The author explains that trauma tends to isolate individuals from their sense of completeness, creating a divided self that struggles to heal. The notion of many causes, many cures is used to illustrate how different aspects of an individual's life, emotions, thoughts, relationships, and physical health are interconnected in the healing process. When one aspect is addressed holistically, it can positively impact the others. This perspective opposes the reductionist view that treats mental, physical, and spiritual health as separate entities. The text also critiques the materialistic focus of modern medicine, which tends to rely heavily on pharmaceutical interventions. While medications like antidepressants have their place, the chapter argues that they only address part of the problem. True healing requires understanding and engaging with consciousness itself, which plays a central role in both illness and recovery. The placebo and nocebo effects are used to demonstrate how beliefs and expectations can influence physical outcomes, highlighting the deep connection between mind and body. Ultimately, the chapter asserts that wholeness is not a state to be achieved but a realization of what already exists within each person. It emphasizes that individuals are inherently whole, with the capacity for self-healing embedded in their consciousness. The journey toward wholeness involves becoming more aware of this intrinsic potential, allowing it to manifest in daily life. This process is supported by practices like meditation, mindfulness, and intentional living, all of which help individuals align more fully with their true selves. The chapter concludes by affirming that wholeness is the foundation of well-being, urging readers to trust in this deeper intelligence as the ultimate guide on their spiritual journey. The chapter Reclaiming the Human Universe explores a profound and optimistic perspective on human existence, emphasizing humanity's role as co-creators within a conscious universe. It presents two contrasting visions, one of potential doom driven by AI's unchecked capabilities, and another of transcendence, where humanity aligns with cosmic consciousness. The narrative begins by addressing common fears surrounding AI, particularly the idea that it could one day surpass human capabilities in every respect and potentially create its own agendas, possibly hostile to its creators. This worst-case scenario evokes images of an apocalyptic future where machines dominate and destroy humanity. However, the text contrasts this fear with a more hopeful vision, one rooted in the ancient concept of cosmic Dharma. This worldview, as old as human thought itself, suggests that the cosmos is intrinsically aligned with human consciousness. It posits that human beings have always occupied a central place in a human universe, one that is shaped not by random events but by the conscious participation of humanity itself. The chapter then delves into an iconic encounter between two historical figures, Albert Einstein and Rabindranath Tagore, which took place in 1930. This meeting exemplified a clash of worldviews. Einstein, representing a scientific perspective, believed in an objective reality independent of human observation. Tagore, drawing from the Vedic tradition, argued that reality is fundamentally subjective, shaped by human consciousness. This debate highlights a pivotal philosophical question: whether the universe exists independently of human perception or whether it is a construct of human experience. The chapter suggests that subsequent historical events, including world wars and the advent of nuclear weapons, have undermined both the rational progress promised by science and the spiritual optimism of Tagore's era, leading to a crisis of meaning in the modern world. Despite this, the notion of a human universe persists. It does not require belief in a specific deity, but rather in consciousness as the creator of reality. The chapter uses quotes from Tagore to illustrate this worldview, emphasizing the interconnectedness of all life and the boundless potential of the human spirit. One quote describes humanity as the link between the finite and the infinite, underscoring the unique role of humans as interpreters of the universe to itself. This interpretation aligns with the chapter's broader argument that reality is not fixed but dynamically co-created through human awareness and interaction with the cosmos. The text argues that reclaiming this human universe is not just an intellectual exercise, but an urgent necessity in a world increasingly dominated by materialistic assumptions. These assumptions depict existence as random, nature as indifferent, and human life as merely a struggle for survival. In contrast, the Dharmic path, as presented here, emphasizes that existence supports human evolution, consciousness is inherently healing, and infinite possibilities reside within each individual. By adopting this perspective, individuals can align themselves with a higher purpose and become active participants in the unfolding of the universe, rather than passive observers or victims of random forces. The chapter concludes with a call to action, urging readers to become more self-aware and to recognize their potential as co-creators of reality. It suggests that AI can serve as an ally in this process, helping individuals explore deeper layers of consciousness and guiding them toward a more integrated understanding of themselves and the cosmos. However, The ultimate responsibility lies with individuals to embrace their role in the human universe and contribute to its transcendence, rather than its decline. The path to reclaiming the human universe, according to the text, is through expanding self-awareness, fostering connection, and nurturing a sense of oneness with all of creation.